History of Diponegoro War, the Java War de Java Ualog, 1825 to 1830. The Diponegoro War took place in 1825 to 1830. The trigger for the Diponegoro War, 1825 to 1830, was the establishment of milestones for the manufacture of railway roads. At that time, the Dutch were actively building a railway that passed through the Tegel Rejo area in central Java. Apparently in one sector, the railway built will be right across the tomb of Prince Diponegoro's ancestors. This made Prince Diponegoro extremely angry, and decided to take up arms against the Dutch. However, the cause of the war was actually the accumulation of all existing problems, such as high taxes, Dutch interference in the affairs of the Yogyakarta Palace, to the problem of dissatisfaction among the palace itself. In this war, the methods of modern warfare are used and applied. These methods are open warfare, and guerrilla warfare. This war was also equipped with nerve tactics, PSY war, which was carried out through insinuation and pressures and proselytizing against the opponent. This tactic was used by the Dutch colonial authorities against the natives involved in the battle. In addition, in this war also applied espionage tactics, which is a tactic to find the weakness of the opponent, spying on the opponent. During the war about 200,000 inhabitants, 8,000 European soldiers, and 7,000 native soldiers were killed, consuming no less than 20 million guilders. Thus it can be imagined that the Diponegoro War was a major war in Java during the early period of the 19th century. That's a great match P. Diponegoro to the point of making the colonial government change its strategy to deal with this war. When at the beginning of the war the Dutch strategy was to pursue to capture P. Diponegoro, which actually caused many casualties on the Dutch side, then in the next phase, namely entering 1827, based on Dutch spy information, Kiai Sentono, who had been smuggled into the P headquarters. Diponegoro since November 1826, the Dutch changed strategy. Their concentration is no longer on the pursuit of P. Diponegoro, but on siege tactics, through the construction of fortifications and defensive posts Fort Stelsel. The Diponegoro War was also a major war and is considered the last phase of the Javanese army's involvement in the war. History of the Diponegoro War. The history of the Diponegoro War, the Java War de Java Orlog, is fully immortalized in the Benteng Vredeburg Museum Yogyakarta, precisely in Diorama 1. One of the scenes in the diorama is the scene of Prince Diponegoro, along with Prince Mangkubumi, Prince Angabade Jayakusumo, Alabasa Sentot Prawiradurja, and Kiai Maya arranging the Dutch resistance tactics. Located in Selarong Cave in Kembang Putihan Hamlet, Guwasari Village, Pajangan District, Bantul, July 1825. During Prince Diponegoro's stay in Selarong, the Dutch had attacked 3 times. The first attack was carried out on July 25, 1825, by troops led by Captain Bowens. This attack was a response to the resistance of Diponegoro's troops in Logorok village near Pasangan, which resulted in 215 Dutch troops under Captain Kumsia surrendering. The second attack was carried out at the end of September 1825, led by Major Selawin and Lieutenant Colonel Akinbok. The third attack took place on October 4, 1825. Every attack to Selarong was carried out by Dutch troops. Prince Diponegoro disappeared in the caves west of the Selarong Hills unknown to the Dutch. After the Dutch troops left Selarong, Prince Diponegoro appeared again so it happened, so that the frontal war did not occur, and the Dutch attack did not result in anything. Furthermore, Pangeran Diponegoro's troops fought a guerrilla struggle and vigorously attacked the Dutch patrol. The war raged until Pacitan, Purwadadi, Banyumas, Pekalongan, Semarang and Madura. Because of its influence that almost covers all of Java, the war is known as the Java War de Java Ualog. The movement of Prince Diponegoro's troops, with his guerrilla tactics, was difficult for the enemy to conquer. Several attempts to attack Pangeran Diponegoro's headquarters were made, but always failed. His headquarters in the village of Panja, Kadu, was attacked by the Dutch, but Prince Diponegoro and his troops were able to escape and set up headquarters again in the village of Krima, Kadu. From this village Prince Diponegoro and his troops held an attack on Dutch outposts. Soon the headquarters was known by the Dutch, but this time the Dutch did not attack it, but used a new tactic of trapping Prince Diponegoro by negotiation. General de Kock sent Lieutenant Colonel Clearance to meet Prince Diponegoro in the village of Krima and invited Baruding in Magelang. From the talks between the two, an agreement was reached that if the negotiations failed, Prince Diponegoro and his followers would not be arrested. On March 18, 1830, coinciding with the month of Ramadan, Prince Diponegoro and his followers arrived in Magelang and were greeted with a military ceremony by General de Kock. At that time, Prince Diponegoro was accompanied by his followers, among others, Prince Diponegoro Muda, Dipokusumo, Raden Mars Jonit, Raden Mars Rube, Raden Basa Mertonegoro, and Kiai Badarudin. After meeting with General de Kock, Prince Diponegoro proposed that the negotiations be postponed after Eid al-Fitr, March 27, 1830, and approved on March 28, 1830. However, on March 25, 1830, General de Kock sent a letter to Lieutenant du Perrot to prepare troops to besiege the place of negotiations. If the negotiations failed, the troops were ordered to arrest Prince Diponegoro and his followers. On March 28, 1830, Prince Diponegoro and his followers, among others, Prince Diponegoro Muda, Dipokusumo, Raden Mars Jonit, Raden Mars Rube, Raden Basa Mertonegoro, and Kiai Badarudin held negotiations with General de Kock, who was accompanied by Resident Valk, Lieutenant Roist, Major de Stuas, and Captain Roefs as interpreters. In the negotiations, Prince Diponegoro demanded that an independent state be established that was clean from colonialism and Basendican Islam. These demands were not approved by General de Kock, and the negotiations ultimately failed. The troops that had been prepared first were ordered to arrest Prince Diponegoro and his followers. Then Prince Diponegoro was exiled to Manado, May 3, 1830. In 1834 he moved to Ujung Pandang, until his death on January 8, 1855.